and welcome to another episode of Small Talk. We are ThinkerThemer. I'm Amy, this is my partner Maggie, and this is the series where we talk about, well, whatever we feel like talking about. We answer some frequently or infrequently asked questions, and then we talk about generally five small box games or lighter style games that you may want to pick up for those in between heavy Euro moments. But today we thought we'd, as usual, start with a bit of a postcard update because we were away on holiday for a week last week for my mum's birthday, and we made it back to Melbourne and we opened up our post office box and there was
chock-a-block.
So many postcards, chock-a-block, that's right. So let's start with that.
All right.
We'll run through them.
Do you want to go first or you want me to go first?
First one comes from Dumbo in Brooklyn.
Ah, cool.
Brooklyn. We have spoken about Brooklyn. We love Brooklyn. What a cool place. And this is being sent from Maria. So thank you so much, Maria, for sending this through. She says, if you're ever in New York, please drop by. Well, we hope to get back to New York soon.
Yes.
Sooner rather than later. It's not looking very good right now.
No, we're going through a bit of another
little outbreak in Australia.
Across several states. So,
but with this postcard, we'll feel a little bit closer to New York. So thank you so much for sending this through.
Yes. Now I've got this beautiful postcard of a rusted old mailbox, and it actually comes from Canada. From Regina. I actually have one friend in Regina in Canada, and it's from Mick and Elaine, and they're talking about how it's, particularly over the last year and a half, it's been good to kind of, because we've all felt so disconnected, to connect back with the old school way of handwriting something and sending it, and it reminded them of this postcard. And
so lovely. And they'd actually bought that postcard before, you know, who was it from?
From Mick and Elaine.
Mick and Elaine. Yeah. They bought the postcard prior to this.
Several years ago.
Yeah, so have sent us something that they purchased for themselves. So thank you so much.
Thank
That's really thoughtful. That's really thoughtful. What's the next one? Let's see. Amy Maggie, I wonder how long this will take to reach you under current circumstances. Well, Xander, I'm not sure when you sent this, for all the way from Finland. We've always had some great chats in the comments section. And yes, he actually grew up in Canada. And and actually made a comment about the fact that our address is Point Nepean Rd, and he's actually from a little place called Nepean. This is a beautiful illustration of, what is this of? It's the statue of Runeberg Hotel, and he said it's the first 5-star hotel right in the center of downtown. It's a beautiful little illustrated postcard. Thank you so much, Xander, for sending this through.
All right, next one comes from Montreal in Canada. I actually have a fair bit of family in Montreal in Canada, so it's one of the places that I'm not going to say frequent, but I do go to or have been to.
And we'll probably
several
go back.
times. And we'll definitely, be going back. So this is from Jonathan. Thank you for sending this through. Beautiful, lovely message. And lovely postcard. Thank you for that.
Beautiful, thank you. And the next one is from Florida. This might be maybe our first postcard from Florida. I can't remember now. I'm losing track of the map in my mind. But this is from Inverness, Florida, and also some dolphins playing in Florida. And this is from Karen and Carly. And I will say thank you everyone for putting your YouTube handle on the postcards as well, because it does help me connect, all the names and people. And this is just such a beautiful beautiful picture here of this area in Florida. And apparently this bike trail is literally in their backyard, right behind the barn.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Karen and Carly, that looks like a beautiful place to live. And actually, I've never been to Florida. But
really?
No.
Oh, we should go.
We should go to Florida. You have some family in Florida as well.
I do.
Yes. So we need to go visit. But thank you so much for taking the time to send that. It's beautiful.
All right. So this one is from Boulder. Was it Boulder Creek? Boulder Creek. I don't actually know where Boulder Creek is. Where is that?
Boulder Creek. There's a logging town in California.
California. Well, there you go. This is from Ted. Thank you, Ted, for sending this through. It's beautiful. I love this. Like one, I don't know if you'll be able to see it in the video, but there's this beautiful, huge bark of a trunk of a tree in it, and a beautiful, almost like, is it colonial type? Would you call that colonial? I don't know what that.
I don't know.
Yeah. Beautiful
It looks
town.
like, yeah, beautiful town.
Yes. Thank you for the postcard.
Thank you
It
so
is
much. We're going to
gorgeous
start to be able to like create a full map of America.
Yeah.
It's
And
like,
like,
all the, even within California.
it's now added so many like spots to visit
Yeah.
that probably would have never made it on our radar because we just didn't even know that. Yeah.
Board gamers are everywhere.
Yeah. This is
Walking
exciting.
around like regular people.
Yeah.
The next one is just a quick one from Aaron, who had sent 2 postcards,
Yeah.
and one mysteriously made it a lot later, but I just wanted to show this postcard because it's so awesome. It's a pride flag that says Chicago on it. Thank you, Aaron, for sending us 2 postcards. We'll be adding this to the collection.
Yes. This one is from British Columbia, and it's got the wildlife of British Columbia, and it's from Ryan, Amanda, Lexi, and Nico. So thank you for that. It's really beautiful, really gorgeous. I'm actually I'm loving the stamps as well.
Yeah.
There's a Superman stamp and one of like little animals, and it's really, really cute. But thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much. The next one is from Sean Griffdog, who is someone that I've been talking to for a long time, since the beginning of the channel probably. And Sean has sent us really like a range of different postcards.
Heaps of postcards.
Heaps of postcards. Yeah, and ranging from, places where he lived when he was growing up. So this one is Portsmouth in New Hampshire. Which is on the border of Maine and New Hampshire. There you go. Did not know that. And some artwork as well, talking about conversations that we've had previously on YouTube in the comments section. It's actually been quite amazing how well you can get to know someone just by talking every week on YouTube and like sharing those experiences. Obviously we now talk in Discord as well, but there's Seattle where Sean is based now, and a range of other postcards that will all be going up on our wall. One of them is a bit of a funny one, but maybe I won't. I'll share that.
It's a, let's say, photoshopped version of
some famous people who we probably shouldn't get too political.
Presidents and vice presidents.
But it made me laugh.
Yeah,
and
it's great.
Thank you so much, Sean.
Yes. Now, this one's really funny. It's coming from USA, but what's that? It's North Carolina, Raleigh, North Carolina. But it's talking about, well, I don't know if you can see it, but it's 2 guys with these huge glasses of, I think it's beer. They look like wine cups, but I think they're actually drinking beer because it's got a foam on it. And he wrote here, this is life before board games. Like, this is what we used to do. Who actually sent this? Where's the...
That was a good question. Oh, there. Linus.
Is it Linus?
Linus.
I'm hoping I'm saying that right. But
Life before board games.
Life before board games. This is awesome. Thank you so much for sending this through. Thank you.
And the next one is from Sergio Eben. And you can read this part.
Besos y abrazos. That's hugs and kisses and hugs.
Oh, that's so nice. And this is coming all the way from Austria.
Wow.
And I have spoken to Sergio a lot. They say, happy 5K subscribers. Thank you so much. And they found our channel through Top Thematic Euros, which has been one of our kind of bigger videos. Admittedly, we haven't done a lot of top 10s, and we probably need to rectify that.
We definitely need to address that.
Because
that is possible.
It is one of our most watched videos. So we need to make more of them. But
but it's also like, it was one of our earlier videos as well.
It was, yeah. So probably the quality has moved on a bit. The audio is a bit better.
Hopefully.
I don't know if we're any better. I think we're the same.
We've played more games, though.
We have,
We've played a lot more games. We've learned a lot about ourselves since then.
Our clothing coordination is certainly not getting better.
This is
today
terrible.
We're in
we only just realized as we sat down.
Clashing shades
oh,
of
you're
green.
wearing green. I'm like, yes.
Terrible.
And you're wearing green, and they don't
Anyway,
match.
hold on, back to the postcard.
Sorry.
This is from a city where Sergio and Ben live, and it shows the main bridge crossing the Danube. Beautiful.
Lovely.
Absolutely beautiful. Thank you.
Now, this next postcard from Aspen, Colorado. It's just so beautiful. Like the landscapes are just so breathtaking.
But this is 2 postcards in.
Yes, there's 2. And so these are photos from Aspen, Colorado.
They're gorgeous. Look at the flower. You probably can't see, but the flowers here are just amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just breathtaking. And they're actually they are photographs.
Yeah.
And they're from Liz and Mike.
Liz and Mike.
So they each actually, so the married couple, and they each send their own letter
in separate envelopes.
Yeah. Yes.
Which is so
commitment.
lovely.
I love it. Yes. Thank you so much. They are absolutely
They're so
stunning.
beautiful. And
Yes.
we definitely will look you up if we're in that area because it looks like a beautiful place to go visit. Yeah. Thank you so much for taking the time. And what do we have here? I love this one. This is Everglades National Park, and it looks like it's styled like an old poster or an advertisement for the area, and it's really beautiful. And now I've got to work out where the area is. Let's see, what have we got here? National Park here in South Florida, where I'm fortunate enough to work. Wow, what a cool place to work. Again, Florida is really like in Australia, when we think of Florida, you do think of like all of the parkland and the...
So I immediately think of...
Like crocodiles.
Well, I immediately
maybe
think of
Swampy
Miami,
as well.
and I think of... and all the theme parks, because that was my only context
so
of
funny.
it. Like the only time I've been to Florida was to go to theme parks when I was a teenager.
I think of like the really incredibly unique kind of swampy kind of land that you get, and I think of like humidity and that kind of thing. But this is from Ernest. I did not know that was your different username, and so again, thank you for connecting those dots for me. And what an amazing place to work, and thank you for this really awesome little postcard.
Now, this one is from Insel in, I actually don't know where Insel is, in Germany, south of Germany. And this is coming from, is it CG? So sorry, Sigi or Z?
Wow, we are so bad at pronunciation.
We're so bad at pronouncing this. But it's a beautiful postcard again, Insel, and it's like, would you call that? Is it a bit of a peninsula?
It's like an inlet thing. It's
it's like an inlet. Yeah, an inlet would be the... but again, another beautiful place that...
I would never have picked that for Germany.
Yeah,
it doesn't look like Germany.
It doesn't. It's not at all what you think of when you think of Germany.
Yeah, it's really beautiful.
Yeah. So thank you for expanding our horizons and our understanding.
Another place to visit.
Yeah, exactly.
The next one is from Vancouver, Canada, and this is coming from Marie and Pauline. And if you recognize those names, they are the wonderful ladies from Hot Banana Games, who have a wonderful game called Steam Up coming to Kickstarter soon, and they sent this postcard and said congratulations on 5,000. Thank you so much. Really looking forward to trying your game.
Yeah, so, one of favorite themes that are coming up. Like most
dim sum.
Looking forward. Yeah, dim sums.
Yeah, yum cha. He's speaking my language.
Yeah.
And they're based in Vancouver, Canada, which is a beautiful, beautiful city. I have been there, and it's a wonderful place. So thank you so much.
Another one is Great Sand Dunes National Parks, and this is coming from Anna. Thank you so much. It's a great design, and it kind of has the Parks of America logo, and I was like, oh, is this the same Parks series? Maybe it's part of the Parks series that the game Parks is based on, and I don't know the answer to that, but it's very, it's a beautiful kind of very stylized,
it's really cool.
So thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
And let us know if it is from the same series.
Maybe it's not the same series, but
it's like the Parks logo.
Well,
Parks
because
of
it's
America
still coming
logo.
from the Parks organization.
Yeah.
And they clearly have a great marketing team.
Well, they've nailed the aesthetic.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Now this one is from a place called Amersfoort.
We are butchering all these
Terrible.
places.
That is almost absolutely not how you say it in Dutch. And so this is from the Netherlands, and from someone named Levi, who says, feel free to stop by for a thematic rondelle game.
Wow.
That's very specific.
Well, you definitely know the way to both our hearts.
We know the way to our hearts. And also we just love Amsterdam, and we want to see more of the Netherlands because actually we have a lot of viewers from the Netherlands, and we think that there must be lots of board games there.
There, no doubt.
And great people and board games.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll move there.
I'll try it. Let's do it for a bit.
Anyway, thank you so much for sending a postcard through.
Now, my last one is, again, this beautiful tree. I really hope that you can see some of these from
It's like a full photo.
It is a full, huge photo. And it's from Sweden. but this is greetings from the forest of Svard. I'm gonna mispronounce Svardsjo, and it's broken down. Svard means sword. Zjo is lake, so Svardsjo is sword lake. And it's from Origin. Thank you so much for this. This is, it's a beautiful,
really beautiful.
Yeah, and it's sort of like mossy ground and very, very tall. Is that pines? That I don't
And a
even know.
language
No, it's
lesson.
not yeah, and the language, yeah, educating us on all of that. But yeah, another intriguing and beautiful place.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And my last one is coming from Portland, Oregon, which I am currently watching the latest season of Top Chef, which is also in Portland, Oregon. And they are traveling around and doing all of their challenges in different places, and it looks so beautiful. I've never been.
It looks so cool.
Yeah.
Like that is on my definite.
Yeah, we definitely need to visit
list. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and this is from Leslie and Derek, and they say they really enjoy our channel and our style and perspective are so refreshing. Thank you so much, and thank you for this really cool,
very cool
postcard. That's Mount Hood in Oregon, which is a little illustration there, and it looks like a really cool place. And we really want to get to Oregon.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Thank you.
One last thing, that is the end of the postcards, but we also had a little surprise package in the mail. And this is coming from Melvin in Singapore. And there's one very brief note that says, "Hi, you know that 2D camera token in the Parks board game?" Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
Well, here's how you can bling it up with a cheap little toy. And in the package was just this. Just this one little ball. And where is it?
It's over there. It's outside of the bowl.
Oh, that was a good blooper, wasn't it? And there was nothing in it. And Maggie has taken it out. But here it is. It is a camera.
I don't know if it'll adjust. We'll have to put it close to your eyes because I think the camera likes our eyes more than it likes anything else.
And it has a little light.
Oh, it's a little,
but it's so
3D
cool. It is
Canon,
like
a full Canon
It
camera.
is like a full little Canon 3D.
With a display and a viewfinder
Super
and everything.
cute. So that is going in the Parks box. That is going to be our new token, and it is a much improved version.
Yes,
so
definitely.
thank you so much, Melvin, for sending that
Thank
all
you,
the way
Melvin.
from Singapore. Thank you so much. Whew. Okay.
right.
How good is that? We
So
have
good.
so many. And I actually think, I was saying to Meg, when should we start putting the postcards up on the wall? And she's like, well, we can do it in patches. I just think we've got enough to cover the wall.
Yeah, it'll cover the wall.
Yeah, so
now,
we'll have to do that soon. I think very soon, actually.
Yeah.
Maybe we should even make a video of making it. Maybe.
Oh yeah, I just didn't know how do we film that and how do we?
Yeah, it probably will just be more us cursing and like.
It's like not here, no, and then falling
this is
over,
crooked.
and then like us in a brace, kind of going. Well, this is us now. So we're recovering from everything we fractured.
No, we'll be very careful. Okay, so that's the postcards. Thank you everybody who sent a postcard. If you still would like to send us a postcard for our wall, please have a look in the description below. It will have our address. And
don't stress if yours hasn't arrived yet.
Yes.
I'm sure it'll be.
I'm sure there'll be
on
more.
its way.
I feel like this week a lot came through, and maybe there's just like a wave of them being held back.
Yeah, we know postage and like all the mail system
crisis.
is a bit stuck at the moment. So
Okay, so for the first time in a couple of weeks, we have some FAQs, or we like to call them IAQs, for infrequently asked questions, because they've really only been asked once. So thanks for bearing with us and waiting. And if you do have a question, please feel free to pop it down in the comments section. We will write it down and we will get to it eventually. And if we don't, please just write it again. But the first one is from Richard, who asks, and Maggie has not seen these.
I have no idea what's coming.
What do we think of semi-co-op or hidden traitor experiences, and are they competitive enough for us?
I feel like these are separate things. So semi-co-op as its own thing, I actually don't mind. We've been kind of trying a couple of semi-co-op things.
Like Between Two Castles was a recent one.
Yes, yes. I don't mind it. Yeah, I don't mind it. It's not my favorite.
Yeah.
But I will.
But are they competitive enough? I think yes.
I think they can be. Yeah, definitely.
I think what we care about and what our gaming group cares about is that ultimately there is one winner.
Ultimately, there can be only one.
There can be only one, and that person does get to gloat about being the winner. And so I feel like as long as it's semi-co-op leading up to one person winning, that's what people care about.
So I don't mind semi-co-op. I do find it tricky to shift gears because obviously it often might happen midway through a game, like where you have it's co-op, and now everyone's out for themselves. but then there's also so many varieties of how a semi-co-op is implemented, because sometimes it's like it's semi-co-op the whole way through, in that, you know, everybody loses if you don't collectively manage to do X thing, but individually you all have your own things. I don't know if, like, that's not, I feel like it depends on the game. I don't mind
on how it's been implemented.
Hidden, what was the
Hidden
other one?
Traitor.
Hidden Traitor.
Completely
I
different for you.
dislike Hidden Traitor, but because of, like, it just triggers all of my anxieties, and I am a terrible, terrible bluffer, and Amy can always tell my bluff face. So, and I get so anxious and stressed if I'm like the traitor. I'm like, oh no, and Amy can always tell. And
I feel like everyone, our friends and my family, will just leave Maggie out of it. So we'll be accusing each other, and everyone's like, oh, Maggie's too nice, we'll just like not accuse her. But also, you just hate all of that energy. I think even when you're not the one that's like, it's you.
Because I don't like looking for, like, being suspicious and like blaming people or like, or taking the heat off me to put it on someone else. I just don't enjoy being in that headspace or that,
I like, well, and we'll talk about one of the games we have today is actually a bit of like a hidden role game. But yeah, I don't mind semi-co-ops and hidden traitor games. I just feel like sometimes there's just a different energy.
Yeah.
It like has to be the right group at the right time. And, and sometimes like a semi-co-op can be good. Like something like Between Two Castles is good when you maybe you've played a really competitive game and it got a bit like, a bit tense. And so you want to kind of take the tenseness out of the gaming experience.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. Is like sometimes things can get really nasty really quickly with one of those. So it's like,
the hidden traitor one.
Yeah, with the hidden traitor
one.
Right. Yeah. So it's a bit delicate.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that some of them. It depends. That's a really terrible answer.
Was there something else?
But it depends.
Because I felt like it was
are they
just
competitive
those two
enough?
things. Yeah.
Okay, so the next one is from Claire. Do we have time to go back to the games we love, and do we want to, and are we forced into the cult of the new?
It's a great question. I feel like at the moment it's more because there's so many games that we want to go through, so that we always have something to share. But I feel like we do still sometimes, if we're with a particular group, manage to sneak, but it almost feels like you're having to sneak in an older game.
Yeah, I feel a lot of, I think we feel the pressure to keep up to date or to review games, particularly if you get sent something from a publisher. We don't like to just like sit on it, like it kind of is in the back of our minds that we should play this. And I think the other thing is that when we do a review, we don't like to just play it once or twice. We do like to play it 5 or 6 times at least, and with different groups of people or different player counts. And that is not like an overnight kind of review system. It means that we really have to spend time with the game over a week, 2 weeks, however long it takes us to get a group of people together. And for that reason, there's just not enough time.
There really isn't.
Even though I want to play my old games, and we've been thinking about a lot of our old games, you know, because as we've been playing so many new games, it's like, well, I wonder how that old game stacks up against all these new games I've played. I want to go back and revisit it. And it's just, we want to be able to, you know, keep making content. People generally like watching things that are new. So there's that as well, because it's kind of like that supply and demand thing. People just seem to respond well when we do something newer. It's, I don't know. It's a bit tough. There's limited time.
Having said that, it's not like it's a chore to play new games.
No,
it's like it's still
fun.
Awesome.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Yeah, it's so fun.
Yeah,
and that's right. Yeah,
and the other thing is like you don't know what you're going to like. The part of the discovery is like you don't know if this could be this next game. It's like pure potential. This could be a new
This could be the one.
Yeah, this could. Yeah. It often isn't. Like a lot of most of the times, experiences are like this was good or this was all right. But it's really nice when you're like surprised by something. Yeah. You're like, hey, this is not bad at all.
Yeah,
or like,
and part of the cult of the new and being a reviewer is like, at that time, lots of people are thinking about buying that game or thinking about backing that game. And so any input that you can provide into that about why this game may or may not be for you, like that's kind of the, not responsibility, but that's the feeling that we have as we want to help. And so, you know, when something is new, it's like, well, is it worth your time or not? Or is it worth your dollars or not? Like games are expensive.
Are you gonna enjoy this?
But thank you. That's a great question.
That is a great question.
And we hope to get back to some of our old favorites.
Yeah.
Maybe in
I can
retirement.
see some even like out of the corner of my eye going, oh, I can't wait to get back to that. But at the same time, it's like, again, it's not a chore. Like
It's not
playing the other games is still also very fun.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, next question from Aaron is our earliest memories of gaming, the games that got us hooked into the hobby. I think those are probably two different things, maybe.
Yes, they are definitely, yeah.
Yeah, and as part of our YouTube membership this week, I actually did a video with my mum because we were with my mum last week, and so some of you who saw that video, she was talking about the fact that we used to play lots of games together I'd completely forgotten about, just like the old snakes and ladders games, and it triggered a memory in me that we did play a lot of Monopoly. But it was the 90s, and I really
There's nothing wrong with this is gonna be controversial. No, but
there's nothing wrong with Monopoly. Well, there's probably a few things wrong with Monopoly.
Well, yeah, there's. From our point of view, it's not the game that we would usually, bring out.
But there's no shame in playing
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's no shame.
But I find it a funny thing that gamers talk about. But anyway, so we did play a lot, and I was extremely competitive, and my whole family is very competitive, but I always won Monopoly. And so it was always this long, stretched out game of making them all bankrupt. But probably my favorite memories are my mum teaching me chess, and I think that really paved the way for the types of games that I enjoy, like the strategizing, the thinking ahead, even the fact that I love abstract games. It's all just tied in with this memories of chess.
Yeah.
I'm not a great chess player, I don't think.
You're better than me, but that's not saying much.
But I don't know opening moves and anything like that.
No Queen's Gambit over here. Yeah.
No, but what was the earliest for you?
I'm not sure. I feel like from a board game, we definitely had. There's a lot of Uno in my life. There was some Monopoly. I do remember Operation. Remember that?
Yeah.
Taking. Oh my god! My mom, she's retired now, but she used to be a dental surgeon. And so, her fine motor skills were just
You're not
unmatched.
Winning. You're not
there
winning.
was no competition. It was just always in awe. That was the level. I remember actually, is it Mousetrap? The one that had that was one of those when we saw it at the toy store, I was like, whoa.
That was my great. I really wanted
Holy
that
Grail?
game. Yeah. We couldn't afford it.
I don't actually remember if we did end up getting it. I feel like I didn't have it, but someone in the family group, because I have a very long extended family in the Dominican Republic, and I feel like someone in the group, one of the cousins, got it.
Yeah.
And so I remember seeing it and playing it, but I don't think I ever owned it myself.
It was so big, wasn't it? Someone you knew had it, for sure.
So fun. Yeah.
And then for us, what got us hooked into the hobby, I think that's very different.
Yeah.
Probably, I don't even know when it was, 6 or 7 years ago now.
Which game for you?
That got me truly hooked.
Yeah.
I think Carcassonne would be up there because I really love that. But I know that, and you're probably going to say that Dominion was a huge eye opener in terms of what a game could be. Yeah,
because it was the game that stayed with me, where I was we played with friends who were into games and kind of were bringing us on board with the whole thing. And then that was the game that for the rest of the week I was like, what would I do differently? And it was this whole a taste of what a strategy game could offer and how you could play it different ways, and you could. So I think that and Splendor were my gateway ones. Yeah. But Dominion by far. And then probably a little bit of Seven Wonders.
Oh yeah.
But no, Dominion.
Dominion is a beautifully designed game. Anyway,
still stand the test of time.
It really does. We played it recently. We were like, this is so good. This is so good. Okay. Jonathan asks, what is the most expensive game we own, and what is the biggest game that we own?
Oh, well, biggest would probably
biggest
be...
is pretty easy. I think any of the Lacerda games.
And
they're
very
Anachrony.
Yeah, they are very big.
They're all around the same size, I think. So there's Anachrony, and then
I was gonna say Roads and Boats.
Yeah,
just because the boat, the box itself is so big, and it's
very long.
shape.
But then we also have a very wide game, which is Cerebria.
Yes, that is also quite big.
So it depends on which type of large, which is the most awkward to put on a shelf. Roads and Boats is pretty awkward.
It's very awkward. Yeah.
Even that Anachrony. And we don't even have the huge big box. We've just got the first kind of big box.
Yeah. Most expensive though.
Yeah, most expensive.
You would know this more than me because you're
Yeah.
the one that usually like
Yeah.
commits.
We do have nothing that's like outrageous. So nothing that's like, I've got to have all of the Marvel collection and all of that. I don't think there's anything in our collection above $250.
Yeah.
Probably like just some of the, I'm just trying to
And
think.
it'd probably be like the shipping, the postage that would have pushed it.
Yeah, that's
to
right.
that.
So something
Yeah.
like Unicorn Fever with all of the big miniatures,
yeah.
that was quite expensive. But also I'm glad that we have it because it's really
Yeah.
cool and kind of collectible with all the coloured unicorns. But then there's like games like Coffee Traders, which we just received.
Yep.
And that, I think that was, I don't know, around 180.
Right.
And then we've got the, Lacerda, we've got On Mars, we've got the Gallerist, we've got Lisboa, we've got Kanban. So all of those games, that in Australian dollars, they're pretty expensive as well.
And they are
like
all big boxes as well.
Yeah,
Like very
each.
big. Yeah.
Yeah. So that, but nothing more than that. But that's still a lot, probably.
Yeah.
Probably. It's more the sum of everything together, rather than each individual item.
Yeah.
But thanks for the question, Jonathan. It's a good question. Now, this is a question for you.
For me.
Eric asks, can we recommend Australian music artists and who are our favourites?
Oh, that's tricky. I've been completely out of touch recently, so I probably wouldn't be able to name any recent artists or any of the hot artists right now. But who are the classics? Like your classics would be your like Powderfinger,
This is how out
Crowded
of touch
House.
you are.
This is
Like,
entirely.
You're not giving Eric anything new here.
Kylie Minogue. Check out this.
What
this-
about Olivia Newton-John?
You heard it here first. Yeah,
We're so
really
hip and cool.
Yeah, so underground, so undiscovered.
Yeah.
But who are the?
But I think like Eric is a musician, and I feel like this is going to be
this is gonna be a
deeply
huge
disappointing.
letdown.
Yeah, because Maggie does dabble, plays the
Yeah.
guitar, and has dabbled in DJing and things. But I
Yeah.
feel like you're very pop oriented.
Very pop, and that tends to then. There's not. I don't know how. And again, this is like how out of touch I am. I don't know how much local pop. Oh, Jessica Marboy. She's pop. She's definitely-
Everybody who's Australian that's watching this is just like,
I love Jessica
like
Marboy.
these. I know, but these references, they're not new, and
no,
they're not
cool.
cool.
And they're as in. Well, I love her, and I will not hear a bad thing. And you also love her.
I
you
love her
saw
too,
her
but
at
I'm
a
not
Mariah
cool.
concert. Like she was in the crowd.
Do you
and
see the sequence of things that you're saying?
Yes. We are not cool
we
people.
are not cool people hanging out at cool gigs.
Yeah.
So
But Mariah. I don't know if you've heard of a Mariah. She's not Australian.
this is way off topic.
This is way off topic, but that's what we do. That's how we roll. So
Apologies, Eric.
we are no help.
We are no
with
help
this.
on that question.
Yeah.
Maybe some other people in the comments, if you're
Yeah.
Australian and you can recommend,
Or if you just love Australian music.
some great artists,
Yeah.
please pop them in the comments
Yeah,
below,
yeah.
and maybe we'll learn a thing or two.
Definitely. Yes.
The next question is from Mirko. Do we play Ameritrash?
We have. It's not our go-to.
So Ameritrash is like a term that has historically been used for a game that is, higher luck, lots of
Yeah.
rolling of dice, generally the dudes on a map type games. And we don't have a lot of them in our collection,
No.
to be honest.
And I'm usually not attracted to them in general.
Yeah.
Probably, even though they tend to be fairly thematic a lot of the times. But
I think relatedly, I don't mind a little bit of luck in games, actually, when it's like a public event that happens, or
Yes, you love a public
or
event.
there's like one dice that you roll sometimes to see the effect of something
Yeah.
you've done, and you can mitigate against that. I don't mind that so much, but when the whole game is really based on luck, I find it's not that I don't want to play it. I'll happily play it with you, but it won't make me think about coming back to it because I'm not like, ooh, what can I do differently next time? It's
Yeah.
like, well, roll the dice better.
yeah,
I don't know.
have better luck.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly.
And because I have no imagination, I don't derive as much pleasure from the story or heavy thematic elements that usually people enjoy about those games, which is just being creative and like role playing and that type of thing.
Yeah, and I'm happy to explore more games
Yeah.
like that. I tend to kind of feel, and I don't know if again that's how I've been exposed to the hobby. I'm just very attracted to the like heavy complex strategy that tend to then sit more in the heavy Euro style. Whereas with this one, it tends to often be, as you said, like dudes on a map or very battle heavy,
but
and I don't
usually
tend to
battle heavy.
like battle stuff. I do love resource management, and I do love having as much control of your destiny and your choices as possible. So,
and why does it always have to be a battle? Like,
I don't know,
why does it have to be
but-
like a fighting battle? Couldn't it be like a pottery battle?
Yeah, a throwdown, so
A
to
throwdown,
speak.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I
Yeah.
don't know either.
But open to it.
yes.
It's just not naturally what I find
No.
that I gravitate towards.
Probably
yeah.
wouldn't buy it, but if you said at a con, hey guys, you want
Totally
to sit
happy
down
to
and play
play.
this game that I love? Absolutely.
Yeah.
So thank you, Mirko, for that question. That is all of the questions
Oh, there you go.
for this week. If you do have a question that you'd like us to answer, please drop it in the comments, and we would love to answer that in another couple of weeks.
Let's get to some games.
Let's get to some games.
We've got like 15 minutes to cover 5 games. We've
What
done
is
this in the
time?
past.
What is time?
It's like the games are like the last 2 seconds, and then we just spend the whole time rambling on and on about whatever craziness.
Are you stopped?
Maybe.
The first game is a little game that has been published by a new local publisher, Guff Studios, which is actually also a board game shop here locally in Melbourne. And this game is called Orchard, and Orchard is very small, as you can see.
Very portable.
9-card solitaire game, and actually there are more than 9 cards in here, but you play by drawing 9 cards out of the deck.
Yeah,
And
there's
we wanna
18, so you
explain-
can actually like play twice with the one deck and then reshuffle again and do another 2 games if you want. Yeah.
And the idea of the game is that you are an orchard owner and you're harvesting fruit. Is that the extent
that's
of the
exactly
theme?
it, yeah.
That's the extent of the theme. And what you're doing is you're trying to match trees that are growing the same type of fruit. And if you can do that, you're going to be rewarded with points. And the way that the points are accumulated is really interesting because the game uses that overlapping card mechanism, which is like card melding, that it's been called, where you kind of are trying to overlap the same designs using different configurations of puzzle cards. And what happens is when you overlap them and you can create a pair, you get to take that colored dice that represents that fruit and put it on top of the pair on the number 1. Now, if you're able to stack another card on top with the same symbol, you get to increase that from a 1 to 3, and then from a 3 to 6 if you can put another tree on top of it. So you're basically just using the pips on the dice to represent the number of points that that's going to be worth to you at the end. Now, you also, in this box, so you get all the different colored die that go with the different types of fruit. You also get 2 little rotten apples that have a
worms,
worm
little-
through it, a little token. And those tokens get placed anywhere where you've put a card on top that doesn't match that symbol. You can only do that twice in the game, and you're going to have to play all 9 cards that you've dealt yourself. And you always have the choice of 2. And if you have to place an unmatched token onto an unmatched pair of trees, it's going to be -3 at the end of the game. And really, that's all there is to it. It's about optimizing your score by optimizing the placement of cards. Now, one thing that I will say is that this is meant to be a little solitaire game, but if you have 2 copies of this game, which we do,
Yes.
you can play against each other in a bingo style Karuba calling kind of manner, where one person has the stack of 9 cards and is telling the other player which card number to find because they're all numbered. And then so you're both essentially starting with the same puzzle pieces and trying to better optimize the puzzle and get more points at the end of the game. It's really quick playing, I reckon 10 to 15 minutes max.
Yeah. 10 was sometimes even under.
Sometimes even under that. But it's a bit hard. Like it's challenging.
Yeah, like I struggle. I love the concept of these card melding games so much. And this game is actually like the components are really like, it's small and there's not a lot of them, but it's really nice. Like I enjoy the dice, I enjoy the cards. I'm so bad at it. Like I'm so bad at figuring out that puzzle. It's the same thing that happens to me with I think it's like Squire for Hire and all. It's like I really want to be good at them and I'm not. I did find with this one though, there are things that you can do. So I felt like this wasn't as awfully punishing as some other similar games that I've played. I really enjoyed it. I actually really loved it as a 2-player, like doing
I really enjoyed that
because there was that additional element of like, even if I'm crap, it's like, was Amy more crap than me this time around, or was I the crappiest?
And it's really cute because the score that you get, you refer to a table and it kind of tells you whether you're forgettable.
Forget apple. Yeah, forget apple.
Forget apple. And what was I at the same time?
What was it? Oh, no, I can't remember.
There was another apple one. But anyway, it was better.
Really bad. Yeah. Yeah.
Better, but not great. But yeah, we've had a lot of fun with this little game. It's like, kind of small enough that you could take it with you if you were traveling. And it's got a small footprint because everything's overlapping each other. It's just the kind of dice that might be a little fiddly.
Yeah, and it's the kind of game that you would want to have a little rubber band around it, because otherwise if you just hold it at the top, it can just slide out.
Yeah, but it's a beautiful box.
Yeah,
it's very
beautiful,
solid.
Very portable, very easy to take around.
And so this
good travel one.
Orchard, a 9-card solitaire game. It's by Mark Tuck is the designer. And I should also say that I believe it was originally published by Sideroom Games as well. But yeah, it's a cute little game and one to seek out if you enjoy like a little solitaire puzzle.
Yeah.
It's Orchard.
There you go. The next game is Werewords. Here we go.
Werewords.
The hidden identity word game. So obviously a lot of you may be familiar with Werewolf. I've played it a few times. Again, I'm not a huge fan of hidden role and like the hidden traitor thing, which there is that, because this is kind of like a word version of it. Interestingly, in this one, the implementation does use an app and it's word-based. So there's a werewolf among us, and in the village, the mayor is essentially the one that knows the word that would, I don't know what the thing is meant to, like, it's like the magical word that was going to help and save everybody. But the mayor's gone mute, like they can't speak, and so, but they can only answer questions
with a yes, no.
So with a kind of yes, no, you're close, you're nowhere near sort of thing. But
mechanically, it's like 20 questions. So if someone thinks of a word and you can ask them a question, is it a person? Is it a vegetable? Is it, is it alive? Can I buy it at a store?
Is it in this room?
All of those,
Can you find it under a bed?
All of those yes, no questions that can be answered in that style. The idea is, that everybody has a secret identity and the mayor is controlling the game, or it's kind of like the game master, but it's all narrated via an app, which I thought was really cool because we were playing with a smaller group of people. It was only 5 of us. And the app was like, okay, now the werewolf, close your eyes, and someone else open your eyes, and now that person closed their eyes and someone else opened their eyes. So it was kind of helpful to not have to have someone who was actually controlling the game. But yeah, I think what's interesting about this game is it is that word game, but with these hidden roles. So the werewolf is trying to stop everybody from guessing the word. And there is another character called the seer, and the seer is there trying to help people guess the word, but neither of them want to appear or want to be known to each other. So the werewolf is going to be interrupting the word game by asking questions that lead nowhere, or by asking the same question twice, or all of these ways of kind of slowing down the game so the group can't answer the question. But if they do that successfully, the group can still win if they can choose who, or if they can all vote on who the werewolf was. Likewise, the seer wants everybody to win. They know the word, but they have to give you clues without making it obvious that they are the seer. So they will be asking very leading questions of the mayor to try and help you get to that word quicker. But likewise, at the end of the game, if the group gets the word, the werewolf gets the chance to guess who the seer is, and if they're picked, then again, you lose. So I liked that twist on the game. I don't mind Werewolf, but I much prefer Avalon, because in Avalon you're going on a quest and it feels like there's something that you're doing, whereas this game as well, there's a game at the core of it, which is this 20 questions game, and the rest of it is just like this additional layer. I really quite enjoyed that. I felt like it wasn't as mean
Yeah, I agree. I didn't feel like, even when you have that moment of the reveal because it's not the entire game, like most of the game is actually just that guessing what the thing is game. It felt like a very small, uncomfortable element as opposed to the entire game being the uncomfortable thing.
Yeah.
So I do prefer, like if you give me the choice between Avalon, Werewolf, and Werewords, I'm gonna pick Werewords.
Werewords, yeah.
Overall, it's not the thing that I would pick because it's still got that like, I just prefer to spend my mental energy on like strategy and optimizing things and like
I do feel like this would be a really quick and really easy to teach. Like it's so quick. It's like 10-minute game. That you could play at a party to get people warmed up for a board game. So that's by Bezier Games. That is Werewords. The next game is a game that we recently received from Kickstarter, something that I backed and was super excited to back. And this is a dexterity game called Crash Octopus. And in Crash Octopus, you play different ships, or you're sailors with different colored ships. And there is this giant octopus that has, I don't even
wreaked
know.
havoc.
I'm like
ocean.
trying to clutch at theme here, but I've got nothing.
It's like wreaking havoc in the ocean, and there's treasures like spread out everywhere, and you're trying to like collect as much treasure as you possibly can before the end of the world.
Before the end of the world. What I love about this game is that you create the board by setting up this piece of rope. So the rope is showing you the play area. And within this rope, you've got the pieces of the octopus, which are both its tentacles and also its big head. And then you're going to be dropping all these pieces of treasure on top of the octopus head, which of course sends everything flying. And then the objective of the game is to use a flag in your color as a flicker to flick all of the pieces of treasure to hit your boat. If they hit your boat, you get to load them onto your boat. And the winner is the person who gets all 5 types of treasures onto their boat, loaded onto their boat. But it becomes difficult because if someone hits your boat and things fall off, which does happen because there's what's that phase called where there's like an attack phase, which I'll explain in a second. But also, if you're flicking other pieces of treasure towards your boat and it like hits your boat but it knocks everything off, then you lose all of your treasure again. So it's kind of a bit of chaos trying to hit your boat, as you know, trying to make it to hit the boat but not too hard.
Very delicate balance.
It is a delicate balance.
Fine motor skills.
And there's this little crab that moves along this series of beads that are around that outside rope. And what's really cool is that acts as the inbuilt timer in the game. So it's going to continue until that crab gets from one end of the beads to the other. But every time someone picks up a piece of treasure, that crab gets moved along. And if it jumps a bead that is black, we have to go through this phase of the octopus attack phase. And what happens is so you drop a die on top of the giant octopus head, and you're trying to hit other people's boats and make everything fall off. So the die becomes a weapon of sorts. And whether it lands on one way or another, it will, if you miss someone's boat, you actually are allowed to move the octopus head to where the dice has gone, or to move one of the tentacles, which is hilarious because it ultimately resulted in people building a barrier of tentacles around their boat, or blocking someone else in. At one stage, I was completely blocked in by tentacles, so I couldn't actually hit any treasures on my boat. Anyway, it was a cute, fun game. There were so many laughs that were happening in this game.
Yeah, it's cute, fun, funny.
Yeah.
Ultimately, a lot of it's like luck.
Completely luck.
It's not really,
And we really kind of broke the game by turning it into a real attack kind of game where we were just not even aiming for our own boats, just aiming to hit things of other people's.
Pretty nice icebreaker. Is it the first thing that I would reach out for?
Really great family game.
Great family game.
Great family game. Yeah. I definitely will be taking this to work. I think it's hilarious. It's just a lot of quick dexterity fun. But yeah, I really enjoyed also when you have an extra player, they come in as like this pirate boat, which is kind of, they're just there to attack you. Anyway, fun little game. If you like dexterity games, definitely check out Crash Octopus by It10 Games.
Now, the next one, controversial, Blokus Duo. And I say controversial because Blokus has been one of those games that historically, has created some tensions, perhaps, has made our relationship stronger, should we say? It was one of those.
hates it.
One of those games that I was like, I will not play this game. I absolutely hate this game. It's like nothing but take that. And so this is the 2-player version of that.
And we were very late to the Blokus game. I think that it's been very popular in America, but in Australia you don't see it very often. We actually stumbled upon it, I think, in a Target in America and picked it up, and I instantly fell in love with Blokus. I really enjoy it. It's mean, but it's strategic. I love it. It's such a simple concept because all you're trying to do is cover the most ground with your coloured pieces and have the fewest number of pieces or squares left over. But it becomes a tight little kind of area control, weird, like trying to outmaneuver people.
Yeah.
And Blokus Duo is that and even more mean.
Yes.
I think that Blokus Duo...
It's even harder because
it is
it's a
harder.
smaller board and it's only 2 people and then you kind of you're blocking each other, blocking each other very quickly.
Yeah, and in regular Blokus, you kind of build in from the corners.
Yeah.
And so you're slowly approaching each other and then eventually you've got to vie for the area control element of it. In Blokus Duo, you start in the center together, and what that means is from the word get-go, you are trying to carve off as much of the board as possible. You're trying to basically create a little circle.
The fight is on.
You're trying to create a little circle as quickly as possible around your opponent and block them in. So it is brutal, but I love it. It's a great little game, and Maggie will...
It's not my first choice, but I will
not to
humor it.
And you actually got quite good at Blokus Duo.
I can be, and I kind of go I'll humor the puzzle, but it's just the ultimate take that element, which is all you're doing at this, is not the kind of thing that I love playing or that I love doing. But yeah, it is for what it is and the type of game that it is.
It's 30 minutes, but I think we played it way quicker than
15 minutes and it's done, if that.
So it's 2-player only Blokus Duo.
There it is.
And the final game that we're going to talk about today is a game that I actually didn't pick up at Kickstarter. And this is a game called On the Rocks, and it's by Pentree Games. And this is a 1 to 4 player game. It's by Michael and Christina, a couple who created this game together. And they have sent us this game. And I've got to be honest that my original thoughts about the campaign was that this game might be too simple for us. When I looked at the gameplay, it felt like, drafting marbles to achieve different drink orders.
You're making cocktails.
You're making cocktails, and it felt like maybe that would be a little too simple for us. I really like this game.
It was a nice little surprise.
It was really...
First, I'll talk about thematically, what you're trying to do is role-playing as bartenders, and we're trying to get the most tips, and we're trying to fulfill the most orders of drinks, and you're kind of mixing drinks to make money, and But there's also a lot of, along the way, there's nasty things that happen. You can have spills that make you get rid of some of the ingredients and kind of frustrate your plans. You can also, interestingly, with some of the tips that you get, they often have what do you call it? A power or a thing that you can do, either good for you or bad for someone else a lot of the times. But the thing is, if you use it, then you can't get the coin for it at the end. So it's you're sacrificing points for the sake of either having to take that element. But the components of this are so nice because
really
the
nice.
Player boards are little menus, so it's a cocktail menu, and you have
double layered.
Double layered, and that's where the marbles sit for all the different cocktails. So many of the elements, you have a shaker bag, which is where you get the marbles from. There's these little cups, which are your kind of your mixers. I absolutely love the presentation. I did love the presentation. I love how tactile it is. So that bag of marbles. But there are games that have marbles that I don't love. But this game, I actually really enjoyed the mechanics of it. So when you're drawing from the bag, you are then doing a Mancala style drop of those marbles into these little plastic cups that are in the center of the table. And then once you've done the drop, you have to collect one of those bowls in its entirety. And that's going to have some marbles in it that you need for your drink orders. But what makes this game really interesting and tense is there is a black marble that sometimes appears in those cups. And if you draft that set of marbles, it's going to give you a spill card. And these spill cards
exactly how they sound. They make you spill something out of your drinks, and the idea or that tension comes in from, well, that bowl has the exact combination of marbles I need, but I'm going to have to take a spill card if I draft that, and then that could really destroy my plans, or I might take the risk and hope that it's, you know, something that's not going to affect me. And that was just really fun. I really enjoyed that, and I really liked, every time you complete a drink, you get a tip card, and then the next point of tension is, do I keep that tip card for the money that it's worth, which gives you victory points at the end of the game, or do I use that in an evil way or to my own benefit, but mostly in an evil way?
That's how she loves to play the evil ones on me.
Like, this is going to cost me $3, but I can use it against Maggie, and she's going to have to lose a few of her ingredients in her drink. And I love that point of tension. I love the different colored marbles. And then I really just enjoyed that it was a tactile experience. And this game for me is not a heavy game.
Not at all.
It's definitely like light to mid, but it's got enough interesting elements that I think that even as a seasoned gamer, there is something to enjoy here. And I just really enjoy it. Like, this is going to stay in our collection. I can imagine like bringing it out for friends who are, you know, not super into heavy gaming, but it's just like, it looks great on the table. The physical presence of it is wonderful. And I really liked it.
It's great fun.
Yeah.
It's like, it's so easy to teach. It's easy to understand. I don't know if I would recommend it for playing with kids, because even though it is very tactile, you are making drinks. So again, it sort of depends on how comfortable you are with that. My only thing is, I wish thematically that there had been a connection between the colors of the bowls or the ingredients that you're getting and the ingredients that go into each one of the recipes which there might be, but it's not really
from a color sense.
Point of view.
From a color sense,
but
yes.
It was like, I wish as an added bonus, if I was able to learn how to make some of these drinks, well, this is 2 parts this and 1 part that. Like, that would have been an incredible.
I don't think there's enough colored marbles.
It's
in here.
Probably to do with logistically. It's a difficult thing, but like, thoroughly enjoyed it.
I did enjoy though the drinks that came up, and you're like, ooh, pisco sour. I love a pisco sour, and so it was fun thematically, and I think our friends would like that. I think so. That is On the Rocks, which I believe is actually available in retail now. So that is the last game today. And it is the middle of our work day, so probably should wrap this up and get back to work. But thank you.
Don't tell the boss.
Thank you so much for watching, for sending postcards, for all the love and support we got on the last episode of Small Talk. You know, we promise we'll get back to like happy, positive things, but it's lovely to feel so supported and to read all these postcards and feel like the connection that we have with you all. So thank you so much. Have a great week ahead, and we'll see you next week for Back Chat. Bye for now.